I'm live with the Fade. The Fade. Yeah, the Fade. Which one of y'all been having hands, toes, knees, and elbows put on your domicile? I know, but I just want to see if you're going to say something. Say something. The phase. I want to talk about the phase I'm in, right? Listen. Conveniently, people don't want me to know things, but I'm an oracle by trade. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't want me to beat me. I got to be me. You know what I'm talking about? But you don't want me. So it's like things that I would normally already know off top. The big G puts one of those, remember in the MIB, the Men in Black, the little stick, shoo, and when he like shoo, and then your whole memory wipe. That's how he be doing me, right? So things that I would normally know off top, okay, just by looking. For instance, when I do a pull, right, there's things that A equals Z X Y Z type ish. You know what I'm saying? Because it's trigonometry and algebra and all that stuff when I read, right? And I do mean trigonometry. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like the thing about it is everyone, my team is huge, like planet huge. You know what I'm talking about? And so everyone on the team, like, we know either, we know either we got it. They on some we got it. I'm like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? One time I got so mad, y'all. I was like, look, I'm not finna say this like this. You just gonna have to do whatever to me, right? So I get through the reading, and then one of my team members say, now give us your interpretation, right? I looked at the table. I was like, well, uh, you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, without all the long, drawn out shuffling and everything else, because the thing about it, I don't like pre-pulling. And what that means is I like to shuffle on camera. So the whole screenshot thing, I had to adjust to that. Okay. I like to shuffle on camera because I want people to know that I'm trustworthy. It's not just me memorizing stuff. This stuff is coming out. So now I feel like I got enough years, not months, years in the game of shuffling on camera. Y'all know that I'm not pre-pulling, picking out cards, even though there's a way to do it like that too. Just picking out cards and creating a story to follow a guideline. I'm not doing that. I'm not that type of reader, right? Now there is readers that do it, and uh, they are intuitive. Now they may not consider themselves intuitive, but if you shuffle and you don't have no marked cards, and you just shuffle and you spread them out, like a fan, and you pull, that's intuitive reading because you something inside of you is saying pull this one. It could be you put your hand over it and one get hot or cold or something and you pull it. I get that. I gotta choose my words wisely because there are readers that are gifted that do pull cards, specific cards, and intuit them correctly without all the, you know, without all the adding juicy tidbits and stuff like that. Right? It's very far and few between though. But the thing about it is, I wanted to establish trust with my audience. So I did that. The reason why it's important is because a lot of readers on this platform will see that I screenshot a photo of something that I shuffled first and decide they're going to place the same cards in the same position and read as if it's an extension. That's why it's not an extension if you pull in the same cards. If you shuffling and they coming out, then that's an extension. You know, something might say, well, something that's ungodly might say, well, you know, just say this is extension to Ether's reading. Let me tell you something. There have been a handful of readers that have picked up on my readings and still told the story the way they tell it, and it's an add-on, not an extension. Not they shuffling on camera, and then something say, "Look, this not part two. This is an add-on. This is a different side of the story." This is the reason why I give several different scenarios in one reading. Because it's so many ways to interpret just one card. Now, because with my readings, they can either lift you up or bring you down. I don't go into 10 minutes because a lot of ascended beings don't want to focus 10 minutes. It take me every bit of 2 minutes to say something that's gonna have you sitting there like, what is going on? So 5 minutes is enough. Because I didn't already sat and placed the cards, not thought about what I was doing. My team done already came in, they didn't position themselves and everything where they need to be, and it's going down. Soon as I put that deck in my hand, it's going down. We're talking about real spirituality, real spiritual practices. When you got a team, then you hard to beat. A winning team, you hard to beat. Look, my team been asleep for so long. They ready to go. You know what I'm talking about? And they like, well, I know this one, I know this one, I know that. Ain't no one new under the sun except the babies. And the big G is deciding who is an incarnate this paradigm. So that means you're new here. You're new there. I said in the reading, I said, this is years ago, I said, and this is how I felt at that time. There's no one that is innocent on this planet. If you come out of the canal, the birth canal, or through the stomach, you're not innocent. And I was right, but it's just not for my era. What I mean is, what I meant by that is no one is born innocent, including myself. Because if you've been reincarnated, then that means you got to pass somewhere. And you didn't already effed up. Now before I go on, right? I wanna interpret Blueface, 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 Blueface lyrics, right? It's so much to dissect just with this one. He say effing on a Shih Tzu, and I'm like, what? Excuse me? Like, is you really? Is you in my work? You got to stop and think. Is you really like really? Listen. Y'all don't sit there and act like it's far-fetched because when all them skeletons start falling out the closet, when they get mad at each other and they start telling all the secrets, look, listen, I had this microchip pen with a camera video recording sticking out my lapel pocket, and I was filming you, friend. You know what I'm saying? The whole time for 6 years, I was filming you with this lapel camera right here every time we talk. Might I add that pricing that's on your device, I told them how to do it. You know what I'm talking about? Type ish. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, how did he get these pictures? Well, he had a camera in his pen lapel pocket. There's a camera in the pen right now. You know what I'm talking about? Either you cutting up. Not really. Because go to one of them SPY stores and see what they have in there. You want to talk about future forward, you go in there and you be like, wait a minute. They putting cameras in screws? Like you you laying there. One time I was somewhere, I was like, it's a camera in that smoke detector. I am not no cap. It look, I'm not that important, but what if you happen to slide up in some hotel, right, where somebody was that was important, and you just laying there in the bed. You just laying there in the bed, and all of a sudden the light just blink on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, hey, they don't think you can put a camera in a screw. You know, let me tell you something. I don't even know what to call this scenario. Hold on, y'all. I don't even know what to call this scenario. Look, I would say I was dating them, but I don't know. Cause you know how you start off, you just like you got an acquaintance, right? You know, they nice, you know, this is all tied in with effing on the Shih Tzu. You know what I'm saying? You meet somebody, you just, tra la 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 la, you know, and somebody want to talk to you. All right, you know what I'm saying? You know, and this phase right here, this phase was the phase where this what led me into celibacy. Listen, I said, all right, the big G, the big G will make a way. You know, all of these sayings that come from the OGs is real. The big G will make a way, right? And so I had always said up until this point, anytime I get in a bind, something is gonna crack. Something gonna crack for me, right? So I'm on my way to the store, and a dude say, "I've been waiting to see you again," right? And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And then at that moment, I was like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? What you mean you've been waiting to see me again? So you done seen me before? I ain't seen you. You know what I'm saying? The type itch. You know? So he say, "Where you going to the store?" Yeah, I'm going to the store. We go to the store. He buy everything. He buy everything I want, right? Yeah, type itch, right? I just met him. Yes, for sure. I am no capping. So we exchange numbers. And the next day, he 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 just so happened to be in my neighborhood. Yeah, that's the first red flag. He just happened to be in my neighborhood, right? This was right before my YouTube career. He said, next day he said, "I'm outside." All right. The next day before, "I'm finna come by." When my the fourth day, my neighbor said, "Why are you coming over here every day?" There was some dudes. He said, it's just they knew him. He said, why you coming over here every day? You know what I'm saying? The point is, the big G will always make a way for you, right? When I was with him, I didn't want for nothing. Okay. But the thing about it is you know how you meet somebody and you don't say, when you were younger, it was always a confirmation. You want to be my boyfriend? You want to be my girlfriend? It was never no talk about boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay, it just happened, and it's like he wasn't a finesser. He just knew what to do to get my attention. And some men will tell you, don't post what you like, what you want from a man or a male online because that's their way in. They gon' come in and a dude did tell me this. A man told me. He seen something. Now the way he took it was wrong, but it sent a red flag. He came to me, he did me and said, "Look, don't do this, woo woo woo." And I understand what he was saying, but it was just me talking. A lot of times, right? Sometimes people will take things out of context, but if I'm just saying something, I'm just gonna speak my mind. This was on the book years ago. He knew what to say, what to do. And because my son was little then, cute little boy. He still is, but he was a little cutie as a toddler. He attracts a lot of attention now to this day. But then a lot of people, a lot of dudes like my son, you know, they wanted to do for my son, take him to the park and da, 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 da. This is the type of energy that I was attracting before I went into celibacy. Okay, he he. This ended up being, I won't say the worst relationship, but it was a transitioning relationship because you don't know at that point. I said, excuse me, y'all. When I finally got fed up, first of all, it was too much time. I was seeing him too much. Now, at this time, I was in my mid 30s. I was seeing them too much. Now, when you're younger in your 20s, you're like, oh, ain't nothing wrong. Whoop, whoop," you feel like they really like you. If they always want to be with you. That's a way in. That's to set you up because once you get used to their energy, and then they decide that they want to replace you or that you are replaceable. Sometimes you, the female, the woman, is a placeholder. So you attract a lot of attention. Your energy is going to bring a lot of looks for the females that want to be in competition with you. You ever heard someone say, "I take your man"? Like that's a cold-blooded thing to say, but it's kind of like it's with fuel. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll take your man because they believe that all women, females, girls value their relationship so much that if they could sleep with your person, then that would break your heart. If a female were to say that to me, I'd be like, man, she way off. You can have him because if first of all, if he mess with you, he's not a keeper. This dude, he became when he started switching in dimensions because that's what it was in his mind and doing whatever he was doing with his boys. You know what I'm saying? When he started switching in dimensions, he started thinking from a different part of his brain or something. And it became kind of like Kerr put a stalk in front of it. And it's like it's like you gotta back up. You know what I'm saying? Back up some. Give me some time to breathe. You know? Um women older women that are established. He was older than me, but older women that are established, right? whether or not if they rich or famous or whatever, when you done been in a serious relationship such as marriage and you call yourself getting your feet wet or whatever you're doing, you're getting back into the dating pool or whatever, you you want to take your time. You're not 20 something, you're not a teenager, when they want to move too fast, it's a red flag. Now, because Blueface is a popping topic, okay? He has so many females and young ladies in his energy that it's like the pick of the litter is right. Now, I would not, I see I seen a little snippet of his behind the scenes of his show, right? Which Imma tell y'all, y'all already know all of this came out. All of this, the boat trip, the la la la, da da, all of this stuff came out in my readings. Y'all already know. Even him getting the clank clanks came out. Listen, he said 101 Dalmatians, and they turned around and made their cheeks clap. I said, what kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like like to me, I mean, I get it that that's for y'all era, y'all like that stuff or whatever, but me being a grown woman, that's degrading. You know, attractive young ladies aspiring to be women, attractive, but I mean, come on. I seen one content creator say such and such is a groupie, and I know because I'm a groupie too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, like coming from a dude, like, he was talking about NBA, yeah, some one of them. I don't know. One of them, to me, it's the same energy. You know what I'm saying? Like NBA young boy, it's the same energy. Like so it's kind of like I would get them two mixed up too if I was, screen recording content. You know what I'm saying? I Because to me it's the same energy. You know, I'm just doing content. That's why it's important. Somebody in their feels right now because I said how I really felt. I'm telling y'all about the phases. Now the fade is gonna come after you go to that party tonight. That's when the fade comes. See, I'm future forward up in this giant. You know what I'm saying? The fade is gonna come, and I'm not talking about a triple fade, cause I don't see none of y'all with no triple fades, even if you think you got one. Listen, the era of triple fades is my era. If you in between, I'm being gracious with with 40. I'm being great. If you in between 40 and 80, I give 40 and 80. You know what a real triple fade look like. They don't have no clue. None, absolutely none. And yes, I did used to be a barber. So I feel like I'm qualified to talk about it. I was all up in I went to Molars. I went to Bayview Barber College, right smack dab in the hood of San Francisco. So I was taught by one of the best. He was coming in there. He had he didn't his name was Suni. He wasn't the only one. I was in there when it was the best cutters there. I didn't talked about this, but the reason why I'm talking about phases is because what y'all got to understand is y'all living loud. Y'all 20 somethings. The 30s or whatever, but The 20 somethings, y'all have a target audience. It's always those that are your peers, but there's some coming up under you. You got to keep that in mind. So you got to be what I call a triple T. You got to have the brains, the beauty, and the know-it-all. Especially if you are a mother. I'm talking about the young ladies. Okay. Now, if you don't have, if you don't have no children, then you don't. I mean, you should be, but you don't have no one that is going to see you and say, "My mommy did it, so it's okay." If you have a little girl, some don't care, but then it takes you into that phase where, it's a certain group of young ladies, females, right, that believe everything that they son do is because their mother didn't do what was right. Now they either don't have children that are old enough to where they've been through it and they could be blamed for their children's mistakes, or they don't have any. Because it's never just simple as that. You could do whatever, everything under the sun. If your child don't act right, your child just don't act right. Sometimes it has nothing to do about the way they were raised. It's just the way that they are. When you add beings to it and they get old enough, let me say this. You ever want to see ahead of time what the possibilities of your child might be, what your child is capable of doing? Look at the father and then look at yourself and then combine it. you know, um, my adult children, they were the sneaky era. You know what I'm saying? I had the pleasure of having sneaky children. Okay, they're adults now. They are grown adults, third in their 30s or close to it. Look, they were sneaky. Some of y'all got real friendships with y'all children. I didn't, I was a young mother, but I wasn't their friend. They snuck and did stuff. You know what I'm saying? You ever feel proud that your child snuck and did something? Because I do. Let me tell you, when your child is bold enough to sit in your face and as an adolescent and call you a B to your face, you know what I'm saying? Now behind my back, that's different. As an adult, that's different. But to your face? Now teenagers, yeah, they do it. They do it. 16, 17, 18, 19. Remember, teen, 19, adult, teen, 18, 19. For all of y'all that feel like, you know, they are legit. They legit, but they teens. Teen, 18, 19, teen. Put a T in front of it. Teen is borderline iffy. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't be every bit of 48 saying you're dating a 19-year-old. Come on now, that's kind of, you know what I'm saying? That's questionable behavior, chap. You know what I'm talking about? The effing on a Shih Tzu. I mean, for me, it is a metaphor. If somebody, you know, we walking around the house filming, I imagine blue face, blue face, blue face, blue face. See, this is the cue. You know what I'm saying? When I say 101 Dalmatians, just start clapping them cheeks. They said, okay, daddy, because they feel like y'all love that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it I feel like it don't have the effect that it used to have, like for my era, you know what I'm saying? When we call the dude dad, they be like, yeah, yeah. This era, like she just called my homeboy daddy. She don't know I was on the phone. It don't have the same effect, right? I mean, yeah, 101 Dalmatians. Clap, 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 clap. So me. Did you just call me an itch? Square. It's cameras off or keep them rolling. Whatever you like. You know what I'm saying? It's something about look. It's something about when you about to square up with your dude, right? When you become your chin just becomes still. You know what I'm saying? It's like he could, but he not today. You know what I'm saying? He definitely could knock me out, but today he is going to be in for a brawl. It's something about when it's your dude and they say something. It's like I'm 5'2" and you 6'7". I don't care. I'm about to jump on top of your noggin. Like remember that game when the thing used to jump on top of your head and just it's something about that I think I love you. It feel like love. I'm gonna tell everybody that it is love that make you say, I'm ready to get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just ready tonight. The fade. You know what I'm talking about? Don't fool yourself into believing that a social media relationship is gonna last forever. Cause you're just gonna be sitting there mad. You know what I'm saying? And don't one of the don't let one of the exes get smart enough to say, they tell you ahead of time, girl, woo 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 woo, and then that be you, and she be sitting there talking about I told you, because at some point when you around the first litter, when you around the first litter, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you something like close to the first wives club. You just sit back and say, I already know his MO. Dude say he just got out, acting like he done been in there and did 20 years. I mean, 2 years is a long time, right? But two days, 2 hours, 2 minutes is a long. But the way he presented it, you know what I'm saying? um, I was 6 years celibate. You know, the reason why so many dudes feel like you know it's a hard bid is because of the sex. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, it's just like going to the studio all night. You know what I'm saying? If I could just have a Shih Tzu there, it'd be good. You know what I'm saying? What I believe to be true for my sons, they not like that. You know what I'm saying? They not. My sons are relationship men. They function better in relationships. You know, what they do outside of a relationship or when they was in their younger 20s, teen age, I'm not I don't know about that because I'm not that type of mom that that want to know all my son's business. I'm that type of mom is I'm gonna meet them when they important. You know what I'm saying? You know, when it's time when and they feel the same way. With my daughter, it was different. But with my sons, I'm gonna take you to meet my mom when I feel like you important. If you not important, you not finna go see moms. That's how they is. So y'all got to keep in mind when you dealing with any type of figure, whether if they're famous, they're a celebrity, a hood celebrity, the D boy, all of that. They got options. You know what I'm saying? It's not about how perfect you could be. It's about are they ready? When you take the approach of are they ready? Let me tell you about the competitive female. The competitive female that wants to come in and just stir the pot. She already know that he is easy picking because in her mind, she the type. When you got a dude that is a celebrity, usually, right, in their 20s, the teens and stuff, into their 30s, they may or may not have a main one at home. The ones approaching coming in, they already know they gonna have to play their part in the back, even if it's just for a little while. The thing about when we gonna use Blueface as an example because he is open with his personal life when it comes down to do with his I don't want to say romance, his dating life. Okay, he's open because he's doing this show. He has he has action at a lot of different type of young ladies, females. And it's always going to be the ones that appear to be flawless on camera. When you got somebody that's in in the industry like that, this is where a lot of young girls believe that they got to transform their body because it's going to be someone that come in that don't they wouldn't give a damn about him. I'm just saying in general because they already figure they gonna get replaced next week. But when you sitting there and you feel like you the one, you done already, participated and wiped his brow when he was sweating, and you sat on the phone and the tears and baby, what you doing? Send me a pic. That was you. That was your position. You know what they say? She already know what it is. All of that, all of that go out the window. She already knew what it was anyway. I'm whoop whoop whoop. You know what I'm saying? I got a baby mama. I got a wife. You know what I'm saying? All of that finessing, all of that cuddy buddy, pillow talk, that just goes out the window. You remember when you told me about what happened to you in third grade? You you told me about what happened to you when you was in third grade. You ain't tell nobody that. You know what I'm saying? It's not funny, y'all, but I've been there. Because you be sitting there, you be sitting there, and you like, we're bonding. We are bonding right now. And then all of a sudden, somebody else come in and you find out he told her what happened to him in third grade. Ish. How dare he? Because you feel like you done got so close to him that he done let you in on something that was hurtful that shaped and molded him in his future. He done did that before. You just didn't know it. He done pillow talked and but what about the one that knew him in third grade? Is that- he told you about what happened in third grade, but she was there in third grade type is, you know what I'm saying? That be the one when you got we talking about phases, y'all. Listen, when you dealing with it, you dealing and then he end up being a celebrity. When you dealing with somebody that done been with the same person since third grade, everybody already thinks she wifey off top. All his friends. Nobody is gonna take. It's gonna take them every bit of a year, 2, 3 years to even like you. You know what I'm saying? They always gonna be like blood woo 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 because they used to the one that was there in third grade. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden it took every bit of a week and you gone already. You know, sitting there crying about, you know, him telling somebody else what happened to him in third grade. That's the real of men. You know what I'm saying? He already know. He watched your heart melt when he told you what happened to him in third grade. She cared about me. She li- she fe- she felt my pain when I told her that. I'm a keeper, right? Then he started thinking when he get the one that he feel is perfect for him, his dream. You know, they always got a dream one. You know what I'm saying? When he get it, you look good. You know what I'm saying? But you're not the dream one. You know what I'm saying? He get the dream one. The dream one is everything that he feels is perfect. You know what I'm saying? She got real hair. Her ooty not too big. Her toes pretty. You know, it's always something basic like that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't thinking about the way she cook, how she treat her mama. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff come after. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, I'm not dealing with this type. You know what I'm saying? Then let me try her. You know. No, oh, okay. Well, she do this. I don't like that. I don't like the way she treat her children. Let me move it. I don't like the way she talk to her mama. Move out the way. You know what I'm saying? It be because they get tired after. You know. Then when they get in their 30s, the dream woman looks different. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he don't like you know little cookie ooties no more. He want a big old apple ootie. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know. Listen, I'm serious right now. We're talking about phases of life. All right? Y'all, this real spill. This is like, reality. You know, I'm telling you, it's 1,017 dudes putting these dudes up on game right now. So I'm putting, my T audience is the 20 something teens right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get to them before y'all do. Cause I don't want to see nobody in the camera with the ugly cry and the sad face. Look at me. Look how he did me. He did the other girl like that too, but you didn't care when it happened. You know what I'm saying? The one sitting over there saying, "I told you he was gonna do it," cause she done ugly cried. Her mama don't like him. Her daddy, her cousin, the third child from the last. They already know he ain't ish. You just figure, don't be that one. He not gonna treat me like that. Just because he did it with her don't mean he gonna do it with me type ish. Don't be that one. Because let me tell you, everyone that say that always end up being that one. Everyone. Everyone. Because he done perfected his game. by the time he got to you. He waiting for you to crash out. Now y'all crash out is different from mine. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe it's the same. Maybe it's the same. You know, when I come to blows, that's a total. That's a total wreck. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no crash out. When I crash out, it might be funny, it might not. But when I come to blows, that is a total out. Total, just total it. It's a wrap. Type, just cash me out because this is a total wreck. You feel me? It's time to just get something all the way new. I don't be picking on Blueface. I'm just saying. He's a perfect example. He's around one of my son's age. You know. So it's not like I'm not what they call my era we called them cougars. I'm not a cougar. You know what I'm saying? I'm a panther. You know what I'm saying? Type it. I'm for sure about it. What that mean? You gonna find out tonight. Keep playing. I don't like young dudes. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not when I see someone like Blueface, first of all, I like the way he is presented on camera when it comes down to do with his mother. I would rather come to approach the situation where what I see is his mother is too much into his love life. I'd rather take that approach. You know what I'm saying? I know it kind of sounds messed up, but I rather be on the outside looking in because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? As his mother is too much in his love life. Maybe he go to her, maybe he don't. Sometimes you got to learn not to, tell your family everything that's happening. This is something that we discussed that, cousins and them cuz, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Don't tell woo woo woo. This is stuff we knew as teenagers, but some people don't know that because with the more family know, the worse it get when you want to go back. You know what I'm saying? And when you an influencer, when you a social media celebrity, you know what I'm saying? He is he has both. So it's not just, I don't know if he got found out online or whatever. I don't know the history to that. But I know that, the way I see him as having a social media presence, and he's an artist. You know what I'm saying? So, somebody way in Asia may see him different than the people in his environment where he from. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got to keep that in mind too. That's one of the great things about social media because sometimes if you way over there in a different country on a different continent or whatever, you know, you're not getting everything that the local people are that the people in your region are getting, or two or three regions over. You know, y- it's hard to explain because most people feel like when it goes online, everyone has access to it. That is the false belief of WWW, the World Wide Web, um, and it's not true. You know, you could pay to have it advertised in different regions. You could pay for that, but just because something goes online don't mean everyone sees it. This is what I said, to do like a promotion. If you were a promoter, when you do things on social media, especially this platform, you got to present it more than once. You can't just say, I put this flyer up 2 weeks ago. A few people shared it, maybe 1,000 people shared it. All right, 1,000 people may have shared it, but that don't mean you don't have access to 3,000 if you upload it 3 times. I mean, y'all know what I'm saying. You could have access to more people if you upload it 3 times versus uploading it 1 time and 1,000 people share it. I want the young ladies to realize that you are an influencer and you are a different type of influencer because for those that are in the industry, whether or not if you have one song, two songs, or whatever, if they know you got music and then you living loud with your relationship online, you know, you got people under you. A lot of famous people have said they don't want that responsibility, but it's theirs anyway. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take the good with the bad. You got to realize that you are shaping and molding those that come under you. This is where this is a portion of where that belief comes from that when you get older as a woman, you might as well just hang up your career because there's so many females and young ladies that want to be seen. And now it's just like crabs in a barrel. It may have been for Lisa Ray and Vivica Fox and all Halle Berry. It may have been like that once they got to a certain level, you know, but they was out there. You knew who they were. You know what I'm saying? Like we know that's Halle Berry, we know that's Vivica Fox, we know that's Lisa Ray. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be, you know, um 1,000 Lisa Rays, a thousand Vivica Foxes. We know that they bring a certain je ne sais quoi, okay, when with they work. But effing on a Shih Tzu, you know what I'm saying? It's like how you stand out when all y'all got the same energy. I do know that one because this is something that was highlighted in the short. One of them has a degree, which also came out in my reading. Listen, everything. Because the reason why I know it came out in my reading is because the Big G, he knows who is watching. I could be sitting with somewhere in a box, okay? And, say for instance, my device is where I'm at, which means I'm going to get the statistics of where I'm at. I'm not getting the statistics of where something is being presented somewhere else. You understand what I'm saying? It's not just the Big G is making it like that. Everyone that has no connection at certain points. Now, my group, the group that I led, if you got more than one device, I guarantee you, especially a cell phone, there's one cell phone that say no connection all day long, all night. That means you're not gonna access no apps on that device. Off top, the ones that I led, whether or not if they feel like they my nemesis, my rival, whatever. One say no connection for sure. I'm for sure about it. And it is because you went through ascension. Let me tell you, it was a certain time, right, where I kept saying something is not right, something is not right with my not my wife, not just my Wi-Fi, but with the network. Calls were dropping. I wasn't getting calls. This was like 10, 11 years ago. well, I say about 9, about 9, 8 years ago, 10. Calls were dropping. I'd be right in the middle of a important phone call and it'll drop. You know, that shifted on into major lines going up, right? Like in communities, you go outside and it's like 6 workers working on the poles and stuff. It went into that. Then I would access the app. It would look one way one day, and then the next day it'll look another way. You may feel like, oh, it's just an upgrade. Stuff is not upgrading that fast. I remember one year I was seeing upgrades on YT for a whole year. It was that year where some people, I'm not gonna say everybody, some people got like a bonus or something around Christmas time. I only experienced that one time. Like the advertisers were paying more to certain content creators. That year it was upgrade, like every week. I'm gonna go out on the limb and say that it wasn't the system wasn't upgrading every week. Where I was present at, they were upgrading. It's like it's like a pathway that you go to. Now, you start ascending once you live past the age that you passed over in a past life. Once you live past that, you're on a different type of ascension. All right, you done made it to the molehill. You know what I'm saying? Now you gotta climb it. Then you get to the mountain. You know what I'm saying? When I was in the accursed valley phase, when I had the all the backdrops and stuff in my content, I was really I was really like in I was really like in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know it at that time, because everything was fine, you know. But at that and when you see all that stuff, when y'all go back to those videos and you see all that stuff, you gotta notice that in all of these setups, I always kept love on the table. I always kept something that said love. When I took love off the table, I was in a different phase. 'Cause I was like, you know what? I don't need this no more. It was something I was getting ready to do a reading, and I just said, you know what? I'm taking love off the table, and I laughed because I really did, metaphorically and physically. I took it off. I wasn't, I wasn't. It wasn't that I wasn't showing love. It was like I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to give love. If y'all understand what I'm saying, because I had already given it out to the males, to the men that I was with. And it was like I've already did it into in my mind. That 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 realization came with my false flame, not my twin flame. Either I thought you said the angels don't have twin. They don't. Not in that sense. And not like y'all think. What we have is spiritual spouses. The equivalent for the average person, when somebody said that's my twin flame, that mean they ready to go blow. You know what I'm saying? That's what it should mean. Because if they really your twin flame, they ready to do it for you too. Off top. The the way that I approach the twin flame union with that belief is the way that spiritual spouses are. This is archangel unions. We say things like our spouse that is our husband. That's the type of stuff. They say my spouse that is my wife. Because what y'all got to understand is all angels have wives. All of them. All of them because they lived before. And not just that, in certain parts, in certain places, y'all, when you are called an angel's wife, it has a meaning and it's dual. And it's not always a good thing. When you when you how do I put this? When you are an angel, like I'ma speak for the men archangels with this one, okay? When you are a man archangel, because I know that's why. Say for instance, they say I have a wife, and they laugh after it. If a man archangel says I have a wife, ether, and they laugh after, that means something. That means somebody been clicking their heels together 3 times, and they done buried them drizzles in the back and the front yard in they timeline. And they almost tried it again in a different timeline because they were incarnated somewhere else or reincarnated. That's what I'm talking about. Now, it may or may not be a karmic ex-wife, somebody that they really put a ring on their finger type ish. I'm serious about it. When I say to like if I say Lucifer, that's your wife, he'll laugh because he already know. If I say that's your wife, he already know how to approach the situation. He not finna come with no smile because to him, anytime he hear wife, that means it's all gas, no brakes. You know what I'm saying? They don't like it. You gotta say your wife that is your spouse that is your wife, and when you say, depending on the combination of how you say it, it depends on how they're gonna respond to it. Now, I'm not telling you to say it, especially because you're a reader. I'm not telling you to say it. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be upset after that because they don't like you. But what I'm saying is, depending on how I say it, is how they interpret it. And they gonna say, even if I feel like I'm wrong, they gonna say, no, no, either you right. You right in different areas and in different paradigms. And they go to work. What that mean? That means I was right for several different reasons and several different people. They don't like the word wife because that mean that was either someone that they chose for themselves or someone that chose them and they didn't want them. That's what it means to an archangel. So y'all got to understand, you know what I'm saying? We got these titles that we give ourselves, that men and women give each other. We feel like wife and husband is the highest form of admiration and love because, they married us. Not necessarily. Sometimes in order for you to cross that mountain, you got to be married to that person. Because how else you gonna know you do not like ain't nothing you may have once thought they was so fine, but it wasn't until I put a ring on that finger type ish. Once I put a there's so many men and males that feel like once they marry a woman, it's all bad. That is true for some of y'all. Once I married her, she stopped cooking. Once once I married her, she started rationing out. Once I married her, I found the woman of my dreams type ish. You know what I'm saying? Just depends. Just depends. So y'all need to stop. Let me say, wife and husband, to be proud to be somebody's wife, that was my parents' era. You know what I'm saying? We was, I was created under that era where when you get somebody pregnant, you gotta marry them. You know what I'm saying? Or the era where they look down on you if you're not married when you have a child is my grandmother's era. But my father, they did, she pregnant? Well, you know what you got to do then. I'm for sure about it. You know, they used to call me Joe, but now they call me Batman type energy. because Pops was not finna have it. You not finna disrespect their legacy by creating a child with a woman that you did not marry. That was my parents' era. Y'all trying to come, you know what I'm saying? Some of y'all, some of y'all that's under my era, and some of y'all that's in my era, trying to come with that energy. That's my wife. And I be sitting that back saying, he show is right. That's his wife. You know, it used to be a slap in the face when when a dude would say to someone that he done laid down with, you know that's my wife. They'll say it because they want to see you hurt in front of her. So she could feel better. She could feel better about him cheating. Well, he said it. He said it in front of her. She knew. She knew. She a homewrecker. You know what I'm saying? Because she feel like she done paid the cost to be the boss, and ain't nobody gave up more money than her. So she has earned the title wife. Let me tell you something. The era where I done pushed out these children, he owed me a marriage, ain't even my timeline. Again, that's my parents' timeline. So y'all can't take that approach with your relationship. You can, but then, if you watch me or if you think you know what I'm saying, you coming in between me and my spiritual union, you know what I'm saying? You got a problem. If I said it's cap, I mean it. It's all cap. That is it.